Hello and welcome to the NGL YouTube channel. Today, NGL stands for Nathaniel Goes Reviewing, and today we're reviewing an absolute cracker. Today, we're looking at the 2025 Delphi Rally Estonia. Let's go. Rally Estonia marks the halfway point for this year's WRC Championship, and we come into Estonia with Elfyn Evans in the lead for Toyota, along with his teammate Sebastian Ogier, the 8-time world champion, in second, and Ott Tanak chasing closely behind after his win last round in Acropolis. This was all swell because we're going into Estonia, which is the hometown of Sir Ott Tanak, and he's seen as a favourite, as Ogier is now not going to be here because he's only doing part-time, and of all drivers you'd think to win Estonia, there's only one other that could really beat him, which is Kalle Rovanperä, who's won the last few years. But with Kalle struggling on the new Hankook tyre, he's not as much of a threat as most people would think there was. At least to me he wasn't. And I was right, but we'll see, we'll get to that later. Now, breaking news was that Oliver Solberg, who had previously had chance in the Rally 1 car with Hyundai, was coming back for this round in a Toyota Yaris GR. And most people were thinking, oh, he's going to be around the same area, Sakamoto Katsuta and Simon Payari, as his teammates, because, well, he's new in the car. And I agreed with that. But soon we'll see things will turn out a lot different. So as I was saying, the top people to win were either Kalle Rovanperä, maybe Thierry Neuville, but mostly Ott Tanak. And that was a very fine sentiment, because when you think about it, who has the experience except from Kalle, Thierry, or Ott? It's kind of going to be one of those three. Elfyn is starting first on the road, so he's at a disadvantage there because he's road sweeping. As much as people say it's not as much of a difference, I think it's still going to be a major difference, because those lower down him are going to have much more traction and they're just going to have a better off on the first day. So, we started the first day of rallying quite close to my predictions. We had Thierry Neuville first on the first super special stage, and then with Elfyn Evans in tow, along with Ott Tanak taking up third. So, I would say I wasn't that far off on what we were going to do, because Kalle Rovanperä, he was in fourth. But we had Robert Vivres of the Rally 2 class in fifth, which was a surprise to me. But Thursday, not that different to what people expected, and it will be a big shake-up coming next. And that shake-up will be because Oliver Solberg, the newcomer, fresh in a Rally 1 car, only had shakedown and 2 test days before this, will come in and take first off Thierry Neuville's hands and come in with 3 seconds on him, which is astonishing. New in the car, not even driven those circuits in that car, but still winning the whole rally after one stage, after 2 stages, but the first stage doesn't really matter. And that was just set the tone for the rest of the rally, because in special stage 3, he's still ahead again, with Ott Tanak overtaking Thierry Neuville and Kalle Rovanperä nowhere to be seen, which was kind of going against my guesses, because, well, I thought he'll be doing a heck of a lot better. And Neuville had dropped down 2 places, down to 4th, which is even worse. So it's not looking good for Hyundai, but kinda. But they really expected to be winning it and not to be losing to the rookie, technically, although he's already had a chance in a Rally 1 car, thanks to them. And then we come over to Special Stage 4, and would you guess it? Oliver Solberg is still leading by 9 seconds now. Tanak is still in second, with Rovanperä climbing back up into third, about 10 seconds behind the pace of his Toyota teammate. And when you look at that, you think, what's going on? Because no one thought that Solberg would be doing this well. And you just think, what has happened? But to be honest, we were all kind of blind to the fact that Solberg's already had a chance in a Rally 1 car, and he didn't get the best go of it. It was in that time where Hyundai was struggling as a team, as they were getting used to the switch over from the 2017 rules to the new Rally 1 rulings. And that kind of showed, because the way they managed Solberg was terrible, and they cut such a young driver off without giving him a chance to bloom. Yes, he crashed a few times, but that tends to happen when you throw a kid into a 500 horsepower hybrid rally car and expect him to do well. The expectations were far too high for him, and that wasn't the right, and they didn't treat him properly for that. And he's had time to, take a break away from it and come back in Rally 2. And he's just been consistent. He's been mature. He doesn't crash as often. He hasn't even crashed any time this year, but a few years back, yeah, he had a few crashes. But still, he's matured and shown racecraft that is something like Sebastian Ogier now, because he knows when not to push and when to push, and we'll see that soon more. Because we go into the next stage, Special Stage 5, and he's still in the lead. And no one's catching him. It's an 8-second gap to Tanak. And Rovanperä is now still 10 seconds away. And you think, well, he's showing that he's there for good. Because no one's catching him. People are starting to drop back. Thierry Neuville is now 12 seconds back. Katsuta is 21 seconds back. Can you believe that? 21 seconds. And those are the people that we're expecting him to be around. That Katsuta, Formo, Payari. But no, he's 20-30 seconds ahead of them. 55 in Payari's case. So what do you expect to happen now? Does he carry on with that form? Does he start to slow down a bit? Well, that's what I started to think. It couldn't last that long. But then it did. And he started putting more time on Tanak. 11 seconds. Basically 12. 15 on Neuville. And 17 on Rovanperä, who's now dropped down to 4th. Again, he's struggling with those tyres. He can't get the gist of it. And I started to feel bad for him now, because he spent most of this year saying he doesn't get the tyres. He doesn't get the tyres until we get the tarmac event and he wins it. But on gravel, he can't hack it with the tyres, which is weird. But we carry on, because we're going to Special Stage 7. And you're starting to see the gist here. He keeps on winning and winning all these stages, because once again, first, 13.7 seconds ahead of Tanak, 16.2 in front of Neuville, and you just think, when's it gonna stop? It doesn't seem like it's gonna stop, and why should it? Because he's showing that racecraft. Neuville, Tanak, they're starting to push a bit more. They start to make mistakes, and then it starts to fall apart for them. And when you think about it like that, you think, well, that's just going to keep happening, isn't it? And it does, because once again, Solberg wins the last stage on Friday by 12 seconds compared to Tanak. And the person I was supposed to be gauging him against, Sami Payari, he's a whole minute and 5 behind. What do you think about that? That is well better than we expected him to do. And when you think about it like that, you think, well, Solberg's gone and completely proved everyone wrong. Even if he loses stages or he starts to hemorrhage positions, people aren't going to be too mad at that, because this is his first rally back in the Rally 1. And he's doing so well. First day, he's ahead. And you think, well, we need to give him a Rally 1 spot now, because he's doing so well that you can't refuse him. He's giving you evidence that he can drive. And he can drive consistently and keep pace up. And you just have to give it to him, man. It's a new dawn and a new day. Oliver Solberg still winning. And we're feeling good. Saturday starts off the same. Solberg is still winning stages, and there's nothing else that I can really say, because he's so consistent that it's putting the other drivers to shame. The only notable change here is that Oit had a spin, and now he's a bit further behind, and that allows Neuville to pass. But Neuville is in second by 16.3 seconds. So it's just a battle between the Hyundai drivers now, because Oliver Solberg is so far gone that they need to focus on making sure they get points to keep them in the title race for manufacturers, and also so that maybe Neville could get back into the Driver Championship. But I don't think that's ever going to happen now. But Tanak definitely, because he's third in the championship, so he needs these points now. And as we go into stage 10, it's a case of team orders maybe taking effect at the Hyundai, because now anyone pushing too far for second and third risks putting the car off, and that's not beneficial at all. We'd rather, if I was in their shoes, I'd rather bring the car home in second or third than push for first and then put the car off. And that shows, because especially stage 10, they lose another bunch of seconds. Tanak goes back into second, but now there's 21 second deficit between the Hyundais and the Toyota of Oliver Solberg. And now you just think, it's wraps. They're done. Because there's no point. They don't want to risk it, because it's too late in the championship to be making big lunches like this. They have to just drive and make sure. But now what are they doing with that? Because we're seeing, as we go into special stage 11, that Tanak and Neuville are just flip-flopping. They keep changing spots, because now Neuville is in second again. Not that far off is Tanak, 0.3 seconds. But why are they doing that? Wouldn't they want to keep Tanak second and keep Neuville keeping people back in third? So it just doesn't seem right. But hey, it's what they're doing. So as we go through into the 12th stage, you can guess what happens next. Solberg is leading. I'm not going to keep repeating it, because he just leads consistently. He has no problem just keeping that smooth, simple, but fast. He doesn't take risks. He's not being bold because he doesn't need to. He's already in the lead, and he's already cemented that lead. So now it's just Neuville and Tanak leaving it out to fight. I'll go back to lower down in the rankings for the time being, because we still have to see a pattern here. But I want to talk about Martin Sesks, because this is known to be a rally he's good at. He's good at fast gravel, and he's not had the best time of it during this season, because had a few crashes, had a few spins. As much as it was supposed to be a learning year for him, he hasn't shown up the best. And I am a true fan of his. I really want him to succeed, and I was really hoping for something better here in Estonia, anyway. And I was getting that because he was leading his four teammates in Gregor Munster and Josh McAlean, and he was keeping it consistent. He didn't spin, nothing too flamboyant, nothing newsworthy, yes, but at least he was keeping on the road. He wasn't flipping it over and completely ending his rally, but he was doing the right thing. He was being consistent, and that's all we could ask for now. It's his first, half year, and he's actually putting some times on the board and keeping it consistent. For the other Toyota teammates, we have Sami Payari and Mr. Katsuta, and they're just doing a bit of the mid-pack thing, because they don't really have much else to go. They don't have the outright pace, but they also aren't so far down at the below the M Sport Fords, which is tough for me to say as a Ford fan, but yeah. And then we have the other Hyundai driver who's not being mentioned, which is Adrian Fourmeau. He had this very similar season to Cesc, where he's doing full season, and in which he's had a few offs. He did well in Monaco, did well in Kenya. Not did well in Kenya, my bad. He didn't finish Kenya, and that's part of the problem. And he did decent at Aquapolis, and it's just he's trying to get his feet as he gets used to the Hyundai car, and that Hyundai car has not served him well, I cannot lie. It's looking a lot like what happened to Solberg back when he was at Hyundai, because the car wasn't helping him. Some of the problems he's had back in Kenya, he had an electrical issue, tried to start with a battery for my drill and still didn't work, and he was doing quite well to keep himself in the rally back then, but the car wasn't helping him at all, and you just feel bad for him like that. But you also have cases for Evans, where he's leading the championship but not by much, and he's had to start on the first days and also for Friday, and he doesn't have much to do because he can't push that hard because he doesn't have the grip, and then people are coming past him and then he loses time to them. So then the next day he's now also starting near to the front with no grip, so he's just kind of in that permanent circle of where no grip because he's starting first on the first days, but then also because he can't get the pace into the car, he's still starting first on the other days, and it's not good. But he's driving, he's doing his race and trying his best to keep in it, and that's what I can really applaud him for. So with Oliver Solberg holding steady in first, that flip-flopping between Tanak and Neuville continues for the next 3 stages from SS11 until we get to SS15, where they finally keep steady with Tanak in second and Neuville in third, but they still have about a 22-second gap from them to Solberg, so it's not looking the best for Hyundai, but they're at least just holding down the podium. They have Kalle Rovanperä behind them, about 20 seconds off Neuville, so he's not that much of a threat, and it's looking good for Hyundai now, because they are clawing back some points on Toyota after Toyota dominated for the whole of the seasons here until Acropolis. So they're slowly clawing back those points in the Drivers' Championship, but it's still not looking the best for them in that sense, because Toyota had won every rally up until Acropolis a few weeks ago, which is a scary stat when you're thinking about trying to challenge them in the Manufacturers' Championship. And that kind of stalemate continues for the next few stages up until we get to special stage 18, I think, if I'm checking correctly here. No, 19. And lastly, we go into Sunday, which is only 3 stages, including the power stage, and a bit more of the same. Solberg, consistent. He just keeps on trucking. You don't see him wandering or wavering. He doesn't lose time on anything. He just keeps it consistent. Nothing too flash, nothing too flamboyant, not pushing it any harder than he needs to. And that just shows his growth and maturity, because back at Hyundai, when in his first outing in Rally 1, he wasn't given a good car, he wasn't given the right chance, and he was dropped quite early. And since then, he's had time in a Rally 2 car, in a Skoda, and this year in a Toyota, and he's just had a chance to prove that to himself that he can drive. And then once he's proven that to himself, he's proven that he has pace, like he did in Skoda. And once he's proven he has that pace, he's just found his ways to dial it back a bit, make sure that he's keeping in check, and make sure that he can keep himself at a decent pace for a whole rally, not pushing this bit, having to slow down a lot this bit, or pushing so hard that he ends up crashing. And when you think about it like that, you see the growth in him, because now that he's been able to utilize that, he's just fast consistently, and that's what gave him the win here. Because special stage 20, he has 25 seconds over Tanak. He has 48 over Thierry Neuville. He has had no reason to complain about tyres this time around, like he did over in Acropolis.
It's a puncture. But how? Yeah, okay, it's a puncture. But how much of an issue is he going to be only having the softs for the next 2?
I don't care. I'm going to drive until the end and we're going to see.
But, was it Acropolis or was it Sardinia? I think it's Sardinia. But he has no excuses for that. But you can see that Solberg has a absolute dominating lead over the rest of the drivers. These are more experienced drivers, these are world champions now, and he's showing them up because he's got that chance, because he's been given a chance by Toyota, and he's won it. So now I'm kind of hoping that, as much as I love Sebastian Ogier, can he like maybe hold off from a few events more than he wanted to do? You know, spend some time with the kids, because now I want to see Solberg in that car absolutely tearing stuff up. Can't swear, but giving Solberg more chances. Heck, in fact, why don't we can bring Sebastian Ogier back. Toyota should build him a car. They should build Solberg a car and bring him to the more do what LZ did. Build a car in 2 weeks. I don't know, but it's more harder for a tube chassis space frame car like the Toyotas are now for Rally 1. But we want to see Solberg back because he's shown such prowess that why wouldn't we want him back? Because if he's going to be a front runner every time like this, then we want him back. We want more action. We want... Because back when Ogier was here, for the last few rallies, he has genuinely been a problem. And he's not even taking it seriously. He's not doing a full season, but he was second in the championship. And we want more young blood that will give the older drivers their feel of competition, if you get what I'm saying. We want the younger drivers to be the ones that push the older drivers out. I know that may sound rude, but I am 17. I want the old people gone. In conclusion, Rally Estonia was a great rally for Oliver Solberg. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.